and welcome to another episode of the QubicaAMF Tech Tip Podcast. This is a weekly podcast where we take you on a journey through the fascinating world of bowling technology and beyond. As always, I'm your host, Orly, and we have a special guest on with us today, a returning guest. He was one of the first guests I think I had on the show, and he's been hiding for a while, but we've tracked him down. We have Brandon Brooks on the show. Brandon, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And Brandon, I know since the last time you've been on the show, you've had a title change, a promotion. So do you want to let everyone know your new title with QubicaAMF and what you do?
That is correct. So previously I was on the technical support team as a technical support specialist, and now my current title is technical documentation specialist. So pretty much any of those new products, any products really that have anything to do with QubicaAMF, I kind of, go over them, make sure they look clean, uniformed, all good across the company, make sure everybody's got the correct documentation, so to speak, and make sure it's accessible and easy to find.
Well, I'm sure I appreciate you, and I'm sure everybody else out there that needs technical help is going to appreciate you and what you do. And I'm sure they already do, I'm sure. But, but again, Brandon, thanks for coming to the show. Today, what I wanted to talk about was Conqueror updates. When I used to run a center, every once in a while I would get there in the morning and it would say, new Conqueror update available. And kind of just like with anything else, when it comes to computers, I kind of say, I'll just do this later. If you could kind of let everyone know, when those come up, what they should do, should they update right away? Should they not? If so, when should they do it? If you could just kind of go over that with us, I'd appreciate it.
Sure. Yeah. So, when you first get into the center, seeing that message, I kind of guess it depends on how big that version update is, but typically it's pretty okay to run it in the beginning of the day. If you've got like an hour or so that you can upload to the lanes and everything afterwards, then, beginning of the day is good. If it's a bigger version jump, then that's definitely something you kind of want to hold off until you guys close or something like that. One of the first things you always want to check before you're doing Conqueror updates is that you have Windows up to date. So those newer Conqueror versions, they get built on the newest version or updates of Windows, excuse me. So you got to make sure everything is on the most up-to-date Windows update. And then from there, if you get that message, there's the option to upgrade it now. You can change it to remind you in a few days, but then you also have the option to let the upgrade run overnight. So if you, like you said, get in there in the morning and you get this message, you can always set it to do it overnight. And then when you come back in the next day, you may have a message where Conqueror tells you need to, reinitialize the MMS or the lanes or something like that. And that's how you know the upgrade will be complete.
Okay. And when they're, like I said, sometimes it pops up. If it's not popping up for them, which I'm sure it should, is there anywhere they could go to look, when this update, like if there's any updates available or what kind of I'm thinking of my phone, I'm always getting this thing that says there's an update. Is there anywhere they can go to see, what updates are available or what kind of comes included in that update?
I'm not sure about the feature files, but as far as checking the availability, there's two ways you could do it is, in the tray next to the time in the bottom right-hand corner of the desktop, you do have a red triangle. Looks like two of them stacked on top of each other, but it's essentially the working copy monitor. And if you right-click that and you select Show Monitor, it will tell you what is the current downloaded version and what is the repository version. There is a refresh icon next to that repository version, so if there is something new and available, if you select that refresh, it should then automatically pull those files for the new Conqueror version. Now, from within Conqueror, you can also select Utilities and go to Internet Updater. And there's an option in there to upgrade the center. And if there is a current version that is available, when you select Upgrade Center, it should tell you then.
All right. Yeah, I think you mentioned, make sure your Windows is updated first. And what's crazy is, I think back to my phone the other day, and this is totally off subject or kind of on subject, but the other day, my son's phone wasn't working. It was getting no reception. And I called to get help and they were like, well, first they tried all these things, and then of course at the very end, they're like, have you updated your phone lately? And I'm like, you know what? I don't think we have. Let me go ahead and update it. And as soon as I updated it, boom, full bars. And I'm like, that's crazy that sometimes that update, makes a difference on everything else. But then I started to think, why didn't the lady tell me that from the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, always good practice, especially with these computers. Make sure they're getting rebooted at least once a month, just so those Windows updates, like you said, are not accumulating over time, because then if you try to run 6 months worth of Windows updates, it's going to take a lot longer to complete. and then the update afterwards to Conquer will also take a little bit longer. So yeah.
All right, Brandon. Well, I appreciate your time today. And if you're new here listening to today for the first time, make sure to go back and listen to past shows. Like I mentioned, Brandon's been on the show before. There's a lot of great shows out there that could help you with a lot of things that you might need help with in your center. Share with your friends, your family, anyone who works in the center or works in bowling, or maybe just wants to listen to a new podcast. We got plenty of episodes for you. So until next time, Brandon, I appreciate your time, and we will talk to everyone soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.